Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into the ultimate guide to leaving your cat at home safely while you travel. Look, whether you're heading out for a quick weekend getaway or a week-long vacation, we've all felt that familiar, heavy pang of guilt the second we pull the suitcase out of the closet. So we're going to explore exactly how to make sure your feline friend stays happy, healthy, and totally secure while you're away. Right off the bat, let's tackle this universal pet parent guilt. Can you actually leave your cat alone while you pack your bags? I mean, it's literally the question on every cat owner's mind. Well, the really reassuring answer is yes. In most cases, cats are perfectly content staying right where they are. But actually, scratch that. It's not as simple as just walking out the door. The preparations you make beforehand absolutely make or break their well-being. Section 1, Home Sweet Feline Home. To really alleviate that travel anxiety, we first need to understand the feline mindset. Think about dogs for a second. They're pack animals, right? They often thrive on the adventure of a road trip. Cats? Totally different story. They are incredibly, deeply tied to their territory. They literally rely on the familiar sights, sounds, and smells of your house to regulate their nervous system. For a cat, traveling to a totally new location or a boarding facility can trigger massive anxiety. So staying home is almost always their preferred option. Moving on to Section 2, how long is too long? Okay, so we know they want to stay home. Let's break down some hard and fast rules for healthy adult cats. If you're going to be gone for less than 24 hours, they can typically manage their own solo staycation just fine, assuming they have plenty of food and water. But once you cross that 24-hour mark, you absolutely have to arrange for a sitter to drop in at least once a day. And for trips stretching into several days or longer, daily or even twice daily check-ins become completely non-negotiable. Now, huge caveat here. Please remember that kittens, seniors, and any cats with medical conditions are the strict exception to these rules. You just cannot apply standard timelines to them. Their bodies struggle to regulate temperature, and sudden changes in mobility or blood sugar mean they need a level of constant monitoring that a vacant house just can't provide. So for them, solo time is a no-go. Section 3, Essential Pre-Trip Preparations. All right, let's get into the action plan. Keeping them hydrated and fed is obviously job number one. Placing multiple water bowls all around the house or setting up a pet water fountain are fantastic ways to encourage drinking. And automatic feeders are a real game changer. But hey, a quick warning. Never blindly trust technology. A random power outage or a jammed motor could leave your cat hungry, so your sitter still needs to physically verify that the machine is actually dispensing meals. Look, cats appreciate a pristine bathroom just as much as we do. Before you head out, scoop everything thoroughly and top it off with fresh litter. But here's a pro tip for you. Consider setting up a completely extra backup litter box for longer trips. It gives them a clean alternative and drastically reduces the chances of them choosing your favorite rug out of frustration if their main box gets too full. You know, an empty house gets really boring, really fast, and bored cats often turn into destructive cats. To head that off, leave behind some puzzle feeders or maybe set up a cozy window perch for some prime bird watching. Honestly, even leaving a radio or television on at a low volume is a great idea. It provides this comforting background noise and mental stimulation when the house is otherwise just dead silent. Before you zip up that suitcase, you've got to run through your ultimate safety checklist. Take just a few minutes to totally cat-proof her space. Double-check that windows are closed securely, tie up any loose blind cords, and lock away medications and cleaning supplies. You do not want to return to an avoidable emergency, and preventing a crisis is infinitely easier than making your sitter navigate a vet run while you're chillin' in another time zone. Section 4, When to Call Backup. Even the most fiercely independent cat needs human backup eventually. A trusted friend or pet sitter isn't just there for the basic logistics. Yes, refreshing water and scooping litter is essential, but spending 10 minutes cuddling or playing with a wand toy, that is absolutely vital for your cat's mental health. Plus, your sitter is essentially your on-the-ground detective, making sure your cat hasn't shown sudden signs of illness, isn't hiding in distress, and definitely hasn't sneaked out the front door. So, sitter versus boarding facility. How do you actually choose? Well, while we know cats vastly prefer their own home, you always have to weigh that against their physical health. If your feline friend needs insulin shots, has an ongoing medical condition, or just needs frequent professional monitoring, a boarding facility completely overrides their preference for home territory. When it comes down to it, safety always wins out over comfort. If you're leaving for more than a few days, leave crystal clear written instructions. Seriously, don't leave anything to memory. Write down your vet's emergency contact info, the exact feeding measurements, and any weird little quirks about how they take their medication. And crucially, leave your own travel itinerary and time zone info. Having a concrete plan on paper takes so much pressure off your sitter and guarantees total consistency for your cat.
Finally, Section 5, the post-trip reunion.
You finally unlock the front door, you drop your bags. How is your cat actually acting? Some cats are totally unfazed, like you never left. But others, they get lonely and want to make sure you know it. If your cat is suddenly following you from room to room, meowing constantly, being extra clingy, or even sleeping more than usual, don't panic. These are completely normal signs. They're just processing that you are finally back in their territory. And the really reassuring news here, they will almost always bounce right back to their normal baseline routine within just a day or two. Once the rhythm of the household normalizes and they realize, okay, my favorite human is permanently back, those temporary signs of loneliness will just completely fade away. It really all boils down to this. A little planning goes a long, long way. Preparing their environment before you leave is the ultimate act of love. And honestly, it's the best cure for pet parent guilt. By respecting their territorial nature and putting a solid plan in place, you can actually enjoy your travels with total peace of mind. So, I'll leave you with this thought to ponder. Looking around your home right this second, what is the absolute first step you need to take to guarantee your cat's safety on your very next getaway? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.